Stop scrolling right now because this is the moment every DyShen fan has been waiting for. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment your reaction, and share this with every Dylan Wang and Shen Yue fan you know because history is being made again. Shen Yue has officially joined Dylan Wang in Wander Together, and their chemistry is so unreal it has left fans completely speechless. What unfolds in this story is emotional, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Stay with us because this is not just a reunion. This is DyShen fever at its peak. The announcement dropped quietly at first. No dramatic countdown. No loud build-up. Just a simple confirmation that instantly sent shockwaves across the fandom. Shen Yue would be starring alongside Dylan Wang once again in Wander Together. Within minutes, timelines exploded. Fan groups lit up. Messages poured in from every corner of the world. People were not just excited. They were overwhelmed. For many fans, this pairing was not just popular. It was personal. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue represented a connection that felt rare and genuine. From the moment they first appeared together, audiences sensed something different. Not forced. Not manufactured. Just natural chemistry that flowed effortlessly. As production began, insiders revealed that the atmosphere on set was electric. From the very first script reading, the energy shifted. When Dylan entered the room, Shen Yue looked up and smiled instinctively. It was a small moment, but everyone noticed. Laughter came easily. Conversations felt familiar. It was as if no time had passed at all. Wander Together demanded emotional depth. The story required vulnerability, restraint, and trust. Directors admitted privately that casting them together elevated the material instantly. Scenes that looked ordinary on paper became layered and intense when performed by them. One early scene involved a quiet exchange. No dramatic dialogue. Just shared space and unspoken emotion. When cameras rolled, the entire set fell silent. Dylan's eyes softened. Shen Yue responded with a subtle shift in expression. When the director called cut, no one spoke for several seconds. They had felt it. Something rare had just been captured. Fans began receiving behind-the-scenes glimpses. Short clips. Candid photos. Simple interactions. And yet every frame carried weight. The way Dylan listened when Shen Yue spoke. The way Shen Yue mirrored his movements unconsciously. These were not rehearsed moments. They were instinctive. Social media erupted again. DyShen fever was no longer just continuing. It was intensifying. Hashtags trended globally. Edits flooded platforms. Comments repeated the same sentiment. This chemistry cannot be faked. As filming progressed, the bond between them became even more apparent. Crew members shared stories of how they supported each other during demanding scenes. Long hours did not drain them. They energized each other. When one struggled, the other stepped in quietly, offering reassurance. The director later revealed that some scenes had to be adjusted because their chemistry changed the emotional direction of the story. What was meant to be subtle became powerful. What was written as distant became intimate. Wander Together was evolving because of them. Public appearances only fueled the excitement. When Dylan and Shen Yue attended promotional events together, the crowd response was overwhelming. Cheers grew louder. Cameras focused longer. Their interactions were simple yet magnetic. No exaggeration. Just presence. Fans analyzed every detail. A shared smile. A glance held a second too long. A laugh that lingered. Each moment added fuel to a fandom already deeply invested. Critics took notice as well. Early reviews praised the authenticity of their performances. Words like effortless and believable dominated discussions. Some described their chemistry as grounding the entire narrative. Others said it was the emotional core of the project. What made it even more powerful was their individual growth. Dylan brought maturity and control. Shen Yue brought depth and quiet strength. Together they balanced each other perfectly. As Wander Together moved closer to release, anticipation reached new heights. Viewers were not just waiting for a show. They were waiting to feel something. And DyShen promised exactly that. The industry watched closely. Executives understood the impact of this pairing. Analysts noted the surge in interest. Merchandise sold out. Streaming platforms prepared for record engagement. Through it all, Dylan and Shen Yue remained composed. In interviews, they spoke respectfully about each other. Dylan praised Shen Yue's professionalism and emotional intelligence. Shen Yue described Dylan as dependable, focused, and sincere. Their words carried warmth without exaggeration. By the time the first major scenes aired, fans were already emotional. Comments described goosebumps, tears, and disbelief. People said they forgot they were watching a performance. It felt real. DyShen fever was no longer just about chemistry. It was about connection. About two artists moving in sync and bringing something honest to the screen. And this is only the beginning. As Wander Together moved deeper into production, something shifted not just on screen but behind the scenes. Crew members began to notice how the energy of the set changed whenever Dylan Wang and Shen Yue were together. Long filming days felt shorter. Difficult scenes felt lighter. Even the most exhausting schedules seemed manageable when they shared the same space. One late evening shoot became a turning point. The scene was emotionally heavy. Minimal dialogue. Maximum tension. The script required distance between their characters, but when the cameras rolled, something unexpected happened. The silence spoke louder than words. Dylan stood still. Shen Yue hesitated. The pause stretched. No one dared interrupt. When the director finally called cut, the entire set remained frozen. Assistants looked at each other. Sound engineers lowered their headsets. The emotion lingered in the air. That was the moment everyone understood. This was not just acting. This was connection. From that night onward, the production leaned into their chemistry instead of restraining it. Scenes were rewritten. Camera angles changed. Music cues softened. Wander Together began evolving into something more intimate and more powerful than originally planned. Fans sensed it immediately. Even before official teasers dropped, rumors spread. Insider whispers. Leaked descriptions. Words like unreal, intense, unforgettable appeared repeatedly. Anticipation turned into obsession. When the first teaser finally aired, the response was instant. Millions of views in hours. Comments flooded in faster than they could be read. Fans described racing heartbeats, shaky hands, and disbelief. One line echoed everywhere. This feels different. DyShen fever was no longer nostalgia. It was renewal. As promotions began, Dylan and Shen Yue appeared together again under bright lights and flashing cameras. But what captivated people was not what they said. It was how they listened. How their expressions softened when the other spoke. How comfort replaced performance. Interviewers tried to provoke reactions. Questions about pressure, expectations, chemistry. Dylan answered calmly. Shen Yue smiled quietly. Neither exaggerated. Neither denied. Their composure spoke volumes. Industry analysts began publishing think pieces. Why DyShen works. Why audiences respond so strongly. The conclusion was always the same. Authenticity cannot be manufactured. As Wander Together neared release, insiders predicted record engagement. Streaming platforms prepared additional servers. International subtitles were prioritized. Global fans marked calendars. When the series finally premiered, the impact was immediate. Viewers were drawn into the story not because of spectacle but because of emotion. Dylan brought depth, maturity, and restraint. Shen Yue delivered vulnerability, strength, and quiet intensity. Together they created moments that felt lived in. Episode after episode, fans returned not for twists but for connection. Scenes lingered in memory. Simple exchanges became unforgettable. The chemistry anchored the entire narrative. By the final episodes, DyShen fever had transformed into something deeper. Respect, trust, loyalty. Fans no longer asked if the chemistry was real. They felt it. As Wander Together concluded, the response was overwhelming. Thank you messages trended. Fan letters poured in. People shared how the story comforted them, inspired them, and stayed with them. Dylan and Shen Yue released brief messages to viewers. Gratitude, appreciation, humility. No grand statements, just sincerity. And that is how this chapter ends. Not with noise but with meaning. DyShen did not just reunite. They reminded the world why chemistry matters, why connection matters, why some pairings feel timeless. If this journey moved you, if Wander Together left you speechless, if DyShen holds a special place in your heart, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment your favorite moment, and share this story with every fan who believes in real connection. Because some stories do not fade. They settle into memory. And DyShen has done exactly that.